Okay, so I'm going to be talking to Vishnudas in Bangalore, the most active and winningest contributor to Q1 CTO Associate. So welcome, Vishnudas.
Thank,
You've touched an awful lot of areas over the quarter, and we just want to find a bit more about you and what drives you and these kind of things. So just quickly, tell us a bit. Where do you work? What's your day job at Nest? Just in 30 seconds.
yeah, so my name is Vishnudas. I'm working for Nest Digital Engineering from last 3 years and currently working with the Illusion client. So basically, I'm working as a Java J2EE developer and also have exposure on the AWS cloud and DevOps. And currently working on one of the portal which is used as a content management services for the universities by the Illusion.
Right, and we've done a couple of. I remember when that started, 2015-16 with Illusion. I seem to remember we
Yep.
did the integration hub, and then we did some sort of database reporting. What are the couple of things you worked on during your time with Illusion?
Yep. So we started with the Illusion Integration Hub project. So the project was a solution for the problem. The problem was basically the tightly coupled integration across their products. The other products, like they have different ERP products and mobile products, which rely on another products for getting the information and the data. So that was a tightly coupled integration, basically using the APIs. And Illusion started building up the integration hub, which is a pub sub model. Basically, one product can publish some resources and another product can subscribe those resources. So that way, the integration was seamless and it was a loosely coupled. So that was our project which we started with the Illusion, and after that project, we worked on the reporting project for the Illusion reporting. Was basically the Jasper report project and the data lake using the Amazon DynamoDB to build the report for the students and faculties.
Yeah, no, it's a fascinating area. Then I want to talk about you. You did this presentation to the Architectural Forum recently on this generic REST API automation, which people can catch on a different WebEx. Just tell me how that came about. I think you sort of said to me that the team that was, spotted an opportunity within Illusion to tell a story, and that's the story you told. So what is that story?
Yep. So the generic REST API automation is something automation framework we built for the API testing. Me and my team, my QA team, we worked together and come up with the framework. So we had a couple of projects from the Illusion where there were a lot of API testing, and which was very much time consuming and was needing a lot of resources there. After every sprint, we need to do the regression testing and test the same APIs, validate the response with complex nested JSONs. So that is why it was time taking, and we come up with the framework which is built using the Java, Selenium, and Apache PI, which takes the Excel sheet as inputs. Basically, we testers or QA, anybody who doesn't have the Java knowledge can write the test cases in Excel sheet and provide the expected result and the actual result. And our framework can take that Excel sheet and hit the every API and endpoint and validate the response, and it will generate the proper charts and the reports with the passed and the failed test cases.
Right, and of course, within the CTO Associates, we're going to move on to the moment. We're all about trying to kind of corral all our knowledge and see where else in NES it can help and act as an accelerator or something. I understand actually this framework, although it came out of the Illusion engagement, was used with Art.com. Was it? Tell me the Art.com story.
Yes, so as we tested that framework for a couple of Illusion project. At the same time, we got the request from Art.com. They had a similar requirement. They're having multiple endpoints. They were testing it for almost week time. So they approached us, and we did just a little bit customization to our framework, and the framework was successfully used by the Art.com EDC, and they reduced almost 95% effort.
Right.
We can just hit all those endpoints in 30 minutes and have results validated and have the proper charts.
Right.
So that way we made it a very generic, and now that framework can be utilized across the DCs wherever there is API testing involved.
Right, fascinating. Well, we'll come back and publicise that a bit more because that's a great story. And then just coming on to the things that you contributed to the CTO Associates Forum. I know on our weekly call you've got something to say on most issues, so I haven't found any that you're not interested in yet, which is always exciting. So I know, just running through a little bit of the quarter, you had something to say and a contribution on the multi-layered chart question we had. You picked out a JavaScript library using Google visualization, I seem to remember, although I did just write some notes on it.
Yep.
And then there was the web security
Yep.
scanners article that people can read. But tell us, there was a couple of things I thought were worth, there was a thing about Docker. There was a request went out about Docker and how we
Yep.
might deploy them on AWS. Tell us that story and your insight there.
Yeah, so the Docker containers deployment on the AWS cloud, that was the challenge or request from another EDC from Bangalore office. So they approached the CTO set forum, and I started discussing with them and understood their environment. They had a Docker containers, and they wanted to basically deploy that on the Amazon cloud using different AWS resources, but they wanted to do it with automated pipeline using infrastructure as a code. So I worked with them and designed the approach, to create the Docker containers first and use Terraform to raise the infrastructure as a code, and through that we can create the EC2 instance, ELB, S3 bucket, what are the AWS resources we need, and then we can deploy the Docker containers on the AWS instances using the Jenkins. So that was the approach and design which we discussed with them.
Excellent story and excellent use of sharing knowledge to people that don't have it. It's how we obviously want to promote our expertise around the place. And then the last one, I remember Julian put up a request with some customers looking at evaluating different reporting tools, and
Yep.
you seem to know quite a bit about Jasper, but also you gave us the pros and cons of Tableau and others like that. Where does your knowledge of reporting tools come from?
So we use a Jasper report for one of the recent project. That was a reporting project using the data lake. We had Amazon DynamoDB as a backend, and Integration Hub data was pulled from the Postgres database to the Amazon DynamoDB database, and we wanted to use a Jasper report and develop the reports like students' transcripts and grade reports and their attendance reports by pulling the data from Amazon DynamoDB. So we had a couple of drivers there. Jasper report doesn't provide the direct driver to connect to the Amazon DynamoDB, but it provides drivers to connect to other relational databases. And we had some performance challenges there because every JSON entity was related to the another JSON entity, and that relationship, resolving those references in between two entities was a little bit time taking for Jasper report because this was JSON data, and having multiple thousands of records for every university. So we had some performance challenges with that. We were able to build the reports, and we also tested that with the relational database Postgres, and then again we tested that with the MongoDB and evaluated the performance. And that all thought process I put when Julian requested for some evaluation on the tool.
Yeah, so I think that's a work in progress. Our point of view generally on reporting tools from Ness, and you've been a great part of that. So last thing then, so everyone who's watching this can tell you've got a fantastic energy and passion for all things technology related. You seem to have an opinion informed on most of them, which is fantastic, and I hope we see more of it in Q3. Tell me just one thing, what's it like being part of the CTO Associates Forum? You seem to be thriving on the challenges that are thrown to you.
Yeah, so basically I like to work on the challenges more towards problem solving things, and as the CTO Forum works across the NACE centers, and the different EDCs come up with their problems on big data, on machine learning, on AI, or some portals or front end, back end, middleware. So that is something very interesting for me, and I am also part of the full stack developer program, and there's kind of learning for me also, and we enjoy helping and working on the customer problems and give resolution to that. And we also had a meeting with Moshe when Moshe was there in Bangalore, so it was kind of encouraging to me also. So that's all,
Great.
It's kind of great working experience with CTO Offset Forum.
Excellent. Well, more power to you. Good luck in Q3, and thanks very much for sharing your thoughts and knowledge. Thanks, Vishnudas. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.